Um, yeah, um, making things available to people in the outside world. Now, um, I've actually done this about more times than I can count. And there doesn't seem to be any way that I can smudge out all the extra bits when I go to my router and show all the extra bits. So just excuse me for a moment while I bring it up in a separate window that's completely off screen, and I'll explain how to make your internal server on that specific port number, which is completely bogus. I'll just warn you in advance. Um, just simply to explain how to make your Minecraft server available to the outside world. It's really easy. So just excuse me for 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah, bit of a mess up there. Anyway, so suffice it to say, you've got a router that's connected to the outside world, and whatever it is, Netgear, whatever. I have like 4 routers that I cycle through to make sure they're all up to date and whatnot. In any case, somewhere in your setup, you'll have to go to some web page or something for your router and log in and whatever. There will be a section called something like advanced setup or whatever, and it will be called something like NAT, network address translation. Okay, now I'm not going to show you this because just it's a security risk. Bloody weather! Bloody weather! Anyway, just ugh. See, climate change, even affecting Minecraft. Whatever. Anyway, so um, the point is that you have an external IP address, and to find out what that is, you would go to whatismyip.com. So you find out what your IP address is, right? So that's what you're going to tell people to go to. But it's not just that. There's also a port number, because there are 65,536 ports available. You're going to have to pick one. I just picked one at random in the, well, I'm not going to tell you, but anyway. So you have a port number, something like, I don't know, 61,300 and something or other, whatever. So you've got a port number and you've got your external IP address. Bloody weather! Bloody weather. Anyway, so what you do is you go into your router via the... Oh Lord, this is beginning to piss me off. Hang on. Can I stop? There's probably some way to turn off the bloody weather. Whatever. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. In any case, so you're looking at the web page for your router and you're at the interface, and it'll probably give you the option for the server name, external port, protocol, internal port, server IP address, WAN interface, and stuff like that. Right. WAN. wide area network. You don't need to know that. It's irrelevant. The point is that at some point when you're configuring your router, you go to this NAT setting and virtual servers, and you create a new entry, which is something like yogscast 2924 or whatever, and the external port you put in as some silly number like 61,425 or whatever the hell. It doesn't really matter. It's not particularly important, that particular number. You use, that's the start and the end, because it's just one port. It's just one port. Protocol TCP, and then the internal port is, now you remember when I set up that server.properties file? You remember that? Remember that? Remember that? And I set it to some silly number, and for the purposes of demonstration I set it to 25, I don't know, 566 or something. It's not like that in the real world, but you choose. It's the purpose, the whole purpose of the thing. So let's say you chose 25566, which is what I used in the previous example, previous video, whatever. It's just a port number. So that's what you put as the internal port start and end for that particular server. Now you still haven't specified where the external port, which is that 61,000 or 62,063, whatever the fuck you chose, is going to redirect to. So what you do is somewhere in your interface it will allow you to specify the internal IP address. Now I have multiple internal IP addresses, and in the examples that I gave earlier I used 192.168.170 dot something, right? Now that's not real, I'm just using it for the purpose of demonstration. But let's say for example it was 192.168.170 dot, what did I choose? Just give me 2 seconds. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back. How do I do that without breaking my neck? It's not human. Well, we're carrying around 200 metric shit tons of gravel, so it's not exactly realistic, to say the least. But anyway, excuse me, I'm feeling very, very sick. So you've got your Ubuntu server or whatever set up, you've launched it. Oh, one of the things that I did, and I just need to mention this very briefly because it's just a minor thing. I actually ran everything in the foreground, so I did bash launch server. You don't actually need to do that. I was doing that for the purposes of explanation. In actual fact, you can have init.d scripts and all that sort of stuff, but this is not an explanation of how to run a Linux server. So I did it in the foreground. I could have simplified it somewhat by using screen or tmux, but whatever. I'm just trying to illustrate the point. The point is that you've got a Linux server and it's got an IP address, and that's the IP address that you put into the extra section in your router. So to summarize, on your router somewhere there is a setting that allows you to set up virtual servers. Somewhere. You'll have to dig around. I don't use it standard router, so there's no point in me showing you it. In any case, it's a security risk. So you put the external port number, which you pick some random number, and you set that as the start and the end. Use TCP as the protocol, not UDP, because that's UDP, unreliable. Don't use it. It's I'm not even going to go into explaining the difference between why people call things TCP IP, and it just annoys the hell out of me because people don't understand how protocols work. But whatever. I'm old. I'm crotchety. Anyway, so you set the external port to whatever port you've chosen. You set the internal port to whatever you've set on your server.properties, and you set the server IP address to be whatever you set as the server IP in your server.properties. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Once that's set up on your router, then people can talk to your server, assuming you've got a fixed IP address, which you probably don't, because, well, it's just the way of the world. I have a fixed IP address because I knew this was going to happen. Most people don't. So every time the external IP address changes, if you have dynamic hosting, you're going to have to send an email out to external users. Oh, train just went past. Whatever. To tell them that if they want to get to the server, they're going to have to type join server and specify your external IP address colon the external port you specified. It's really not hard. It's not hard, but I don't know how many times I had to explain this. It's just I feel sad sometimes. Is it just me? It's just me. Hopeless. Helpless. Whatever. Anyway, so there you go. That's how you set up your router. I'm not going to show you it because everything I've shown you so far is bogus anyway. So showing you a real life setup with like 60 entries in it and trying to sit there mucking around, smudging out all the Skypes and all the rest of the connections it's just too hard. It's too hard. Besides, I've had a glass of wine, so it's just too hard. So, and I'm feeling sick to boot. So there you go. That's it. It's as simple as that. Okay, I'm going to quit now. And we'll get on to some more interesting stuff. Like, God, break a neck. What's going on in that back room, the machine of madness? We'll get on to that. That's the next series. Promise. I promise I won't go into Mr. Crayfish. And if you don't know what that means, it means furniture. It's IKEA for Minecraft. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Bit by bit. Okay. Bye. Oh! Like. IT exit strategy. Retirement plan. Like this bloody video. Just do it.